Alright, I've been running this brand for a while for my plate brackets. It's called Flip and Dip. When you buy them, this is one for a 22 Honda Grom. I believe it takes into account that you have a tail tidy. That's what it looks like to me. It comes with the hinge, bracket, everything bolted right up. One thing to take into account is that the bolt holes don't fully line up because they're a UK company, so their plates are a little bit smaller. And to fix that, you get these extenders as well. And also what I wanted to do, which I guess is the main focus of this video, is going to be the locking shim here. So this is going to go up in here, so that way you can lock it fully out or fully in. While you do that, you take the hinges off the bracket. Personally, I'm going to be running this. This is, I guess, their newer universal bracket, which, because I have a sub cage, this is how I have to mount mine. So I'm going to remove the 22 part entirely and put this one on. You don't have to do that part. Like I said, the main focus is the locking shim, and I guess also the extenders. Whatever the bracket you get is you know, they all basically bolt on the same. You get everything you need. You get new hardware for it and everything. And then you just use the, what is this? It's a 3mm Allen. That's all there is. So I'm going to take these hinges off, just these 8 bolts. Leave these screws alone. Don't touch the Phillips screws, just the 8 Allen heads. We're going to take those off, separate the bracket from the hinge, and then we'll start setting up the locking shim. Alright, so now, like I said, I'm swapping out my brackets. So remember, we're looking at the back. So my 22 bracket, that's not going to be needed. Put that to the side. Taking my new one. Obviously, it's got the FD cut into it, so we'll get it backwards. Now, the first thing we're going to do is take this spacer. It's going to go right here. I don't really know if you want it like up or down, because it's got some different, I don't know. I think he said all the way up. I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to see what happens. Alright, so then what we're going to do is put our hinge back on. We're not too worried about this bottom piece yet. This one seems like a little, I'm going to need 2 hands for this, but we're going to put our 4 bolts in, and I'm just going to like loosely put them in there, just so I can like have all this kind of mocked up. And then from there, we'll work on this bottom piece. I feel like I'm going against everything I do with my channel. Literally all I did was just put these bolts in, and I just kind of hand tied them. I took the socket off of my gun, and I just did it by hand. So it's just mocked up, they're nice and loose. Again, I don't really know how high up I need the spacer. I don't know if it really matters. But either way, that's all I did there. I would show it more, just I need 2 hands. I don't know where my thing went to do the point of view with this. And I'm not wearing my helmet for this. So now with this bracket, we're going to take these 2 washers. I think it's these ones here. You're going to put these on the outside. I'm going to put those there. Now we're going to take our hinge. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right. Put those there. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did up here. I'm just going to put these bolts through where these 2 washers went on the outside, and I'm just going to hand tighten them with this right here. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get the locking shim set in place. All right, so for the locking shim, remember, we're looking at the back. You want this piece, the lip, to be facing outwards towards the hinge. So now these slots here, this is what makes it like adjustable, you know, because we're going to pull it to lock it and pull it out to loosen it. That is going to line up with those bolts there, right there. So I'm going to get 2 bolts in there, but I'm not going to tighten them. I'm just going to get them in there, so that way, like, we get a couple threads in there, so that way this piece won't fall out. Already with these, I can feel like it has some tension to it, which is good. The trick to it, he was saying, was you want to make sure that they're tight enough to hold it, but loose enough to be able to move it. So I'm going to get these last 2 bolts in there. I just need both hands, and then from there I'll work on the tension. Okay, so possible backtrack. I don't know. I'm doing a few takes with this, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to use. This is what I'm going to look at here. Basically what I did, I kept some tension on these bolts on the outside. These 4 bolts up top, I loosened. Now you want to make sure that that middle spacer there is lined up evenly, for 1. And 2, let's see, there we go. Yeah, you can see it's moving around a lot. So I set the locking shim because I have more tension on that. I set that to hold it because you see this middle piece rests on the locking shim. Then you have these edges here. I want those to be at the very edge of the top bracket part. That's where I'm putting it. That looks like that'll hold it in place better and like a good position for it because I don't want it to be too high or low. So I'm going to line them up with these little edges here. And then I'm going to need 2 hands again. With this, making sure it's flat there, I'm going to tighten these 4 bolts down. That'll keep the spacer in place. And then I'm going to work on the tension for the actual locking shim. All right, so this is it. This is with it fully locked in place. It's not going to move anywhere. So basically, you got to watch the tension on these as well. You want these two to be tight, but you might have to adjust it. I know my right side was sticking a little bit more than the left. These are more your adjustment screws though. So if anything, leave these a little bit more on the loose side, but you want to make sure that it's even, at least as even as you can get it. Like you can see, like there's tension on it. It's not going to just slide out, like I have to pull it, but you want it to be able to move. So you really just got to play with it. Play with the tension on these lower 4 bolts. Like I said, the 2 outer lower bolts you want to be at least mostly tight, but it will highly affect the tension, and you want to make sure it's even. Then these are for like a fine adjustment. Look at it that way. But yeah, make sure everything's tight, torque them all down enough. It doesn't take a lot. You know, I just had my hand, you know, on the ratchet like this, and I just gave it just enough. You know, you don't want to, they're still small bolts, they have Loctite on them. That should be good. All right, so now for the extender pieces, you're going to take the little countersink part, put that on here. I think I'm going to have, it looks like they mostly have them sticking up like this. So I'm going to try that. I'm just going to keep everything loose so I can mock it up and see if I can get everything lined up right. But I'm going to need 2 hands, so I'm going to get these on, try to get the plate on, with hopefully with the frame too, and then I'll see if I can mock it up on the bike. All right, so this is finished product. I will admit it was kind of a pain in the ass just because everything was loose. Like, you know, I was trying to get the little tabs there to line up, and I'm trying to, you know, make it so it fits between everything with the plate and the frame, or the plate and the plate frame rather. I do believe that because I run this plate frame, it's making it a little bit more difficult for me, but it's very classy, and I refuse to not run it. So, but it's very possible. It's not like it really gets in the way or anything. So now I'm going to go mock this up. Not mock it up, but I'm going to go put it on the bike. I have my bolts over there for it. So you got countersink here. That's all it is. Countersink, lock nut, washers. That's really all there is to it. It does, you know, obviously it depends on what bike you have and what bracket. The bracket really doesn't matter. It's really more about the hinge, and in this case, the locking shim as well. I do highly recommend the locking shim. And also take note, I believe I kind of mentioned this, these Phillips heads, these are for the tension on the hinge. So it's very tight, which you want, because you don't want it to sag. I mean, over time, you know, it's a hinge. It's probably not going to be as tight as it is now, but you can adjust it with these. But it doesn't matter over time with the locking shim, because this way, if you have this, that way it won't sag a little bit, which is really good. Like I said, at first it really doesn't matter, but over time, it's a hinge. That's just going to happen. But so yeah, I got it all mounted up and everything. So right now, I mean, even without the locking shim, you still got to really push it. But works well. Locking shim works. The guy's actually really cool too. His shop was closed for Christmas and New Year's, and I messaged him just because I was thinking about it, just before I forgot. I figured he'd get back to me like in a week when he got back to the shop, and he got right back to me. And he said, I told him exactly my setup. He put me with everything that I would need. He said that this bracket would work and everything, and the extenders. So he really helped me out a lot. It was really not a bad price either. But just remember, he's in the UK, so if you're in the States, it might take a little while for shipping. I mean, it really wasn't that bad. It was like maybe a week. Remember those plate extenders, you're going to need those. And again, just, you know, consider your setup. Remember, it's a 22 Grom, but the 22 Grom bracket doesn't fit for mine because of my sub cage. Little things like that, you know, everyone's setup is different, so take it all into account. You can ask him. I'm sure he'll help you out and set you up with what you need. Comes in a lot of handy too, because, you know, when you go to like a meet, or if you're taking pictures, you don't want your plate out there, you can just flip it. There's no other reason you would want to do that. And obviously no job is done until all the stickers are put on. But yeah, well worth the price, well worth the wait, easy install. Whatever I end up doing to this thing next, I'm sure I'll see you in that one. So whatever that is, I'll see you then.